Greetings and welcome aboard to the Heavy Metal Truckers. We are your hosts, I'm Pincushion. That is Frosty, and down there, apparently, because Discord wants to be weird, is Doppler. So, in this video, we are letting Frosty give his thoughts on Nightwish's Imaginaerum. Doppler and I have already discussed this pretty much from my point of view whenever we did the latest Nightwish album. So I wanted to make a video to where we can get Frosty's perspective because Doppler and I knew he would have so much to say regarding this album. So Frosty, give us your thoughts, please. And of course, where you learned about them from.
Oh yeah, no. So in our last Nightwish episode, I learned about Nightwish early on. I think I was like 12 or 13, so it was roughly about 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. The very first song I ever remember listening to them was in End of All Hope. And then I remember from that point on, the next song that I would hear from them was their cover of Phantom of the Opera.
That's a nice cat you have, sir.
By far is one of my favorite covers of Phantom of the Opera. So that's how I was introduced. I haven't really delved into them much since then. I did do the album review with Doppler and Pincushion here for their newest album, and that's where they want me to review Imaginaerum, which came out years ago.
2012, I think.
Yeah, 2011, 2012, somewhere around
2011, might have been 2011. I don't know, somewhere around
there.
there.
I think it was 2011.
Actually, no, I think it was, because, yeah.
Yep. So, I have had this album on repeat pretty much since I first listened to it. I had to put it on pause because I had other albums that I needed to review. But once I was done with those albums, I damn sure came back to this and repeated it constantly.
I wonder why.
I was the same way when I first heard it. I probably listened to it nonstop for months after it came out.
Yeah, no, and I mean, usually it's for me, it's usually like a song on an album, or like just a random song single that came out from a band that like really catches my attention, and I'll just repeat that one song. This is the first time I've just repeated an album that's not by my favorite band at all, and it was absolutely insane. Musically, how did I word this in my head while I was like thinking about it? Musically, to me, this well, yeah, no, it definitely sounds like a musical almost. You get the fairy tale aspect, you get the dark vibe to it.
Well, I was being funny by saying how was it musically, and I was like, musical.
I know, sarcasm.
Okay.
I mean, you got fairy tale vibe, you got a dark vibe, you've got like you have different parts of the world kind of sounds to it, and I really enjoyed that. It kind of had that like silver screen score vibe behind it as well. Really enjoyed that. Oh my gosh. I think the phrase that I quoted in my head was, this album to me was a masterful expression of the musically inclined mind.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. It was insanely well done. Now, I know that this is a metal channel, and there were metal aspects to the album, but it wasn't the entirety of the album. and I actually appreciated that
Well, you have to
with
understand that
this
even though
album.
this is a metal channel, as you well know, metal encompasses a lot.
You are not wrong. It definitely had like
Robot.
oh yeah,
Bear
no,
that in mind,
definitely. I
people.
mean,
Whenever we talk about metal, we're not just talking about Cannibal Corpse going ape shit or Slayer going ape shit. Metal encompasses symphonic metal, gothic metal, folk metal. It's a
Well,
massive
look,
umbrella. Yeah, it's a massive umbrella
like,
just as much as rock is.
well, not only that, but you got bands like Hylun that are considered metal when they're nothing's heavy at all about them. It's all about their presence and their music itself and the vibe it gives.
Mm-hmm.
But
mhm.
anyway,
Yeah. So, oh, I mean, and almost all music. No, I think all music is derived from classical, and that's like almost a big key aspect in this album that I really, really thoroughly enjoyed.
I probably
You've got,
wouldn't say all
I,
because there
I
are
would say the
some,
majority.
the majority, but there are some that were more driven from folk aspects and
tribal.
tribal
Yeah, yeah.
beginnings. So a good majority did come from that. At least the principle matters. The fundamentals of it
Hmm.
do definitely come from classical, but it plays a major part.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you got hints of that in this album as well. I mean, there were parts of it where there was the one song, the Arabica song or whatever, um later on, like near the end of the album, that was just straight, you know, no singing whatsoever, no lyrics. It was just straight
Oh, you're talking the
music.
very last song. Yeah, the
Oh
very
well, no,
last
the
song.
very last song was Imaginaeum. That one
Yeah, which
also
is an
had that as
instrumental.
well. But
Yeah, it
there
was
was
an.
another one. It was an Arabic song. Like the name of the song was something like
Look up.
Arabica or something.
That's been a while since I
Arabicus,
listened.
I think is what it was. Arabicus or something.
Let me see. Hold on.
Um, I think it came right after Scare Tale. I don't remember exactly what it was. But I mean, it had like, I mean, you had like a Middle Eastern sound to it, and you had
I
the
know which one you're
classical
talking
vibe,
about.
and then it was just no lyrics in it, and it
That one
was,
caught me by
I,
surprise.
yeah, yeah, no,
Several
definitely. I
songs
mean,
caught me by surprise on this album.
yeah, and I mean, it was,
Oh, I know which song you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. It was after
yep,
Scale Taylor and before Turn Loose the Mermaid. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I remember. Yep, yep, yep.
yep, yeah. So I mean, and that one, like, Scare Tale ends, and that one begins, and you honestly think it's still going. Like, Scare Tale is just a really long song, and it was just fantastically well done. Production wise, holy crap. Like, how did they manage this? Like, it was absolutely insane.
Because Nightwish is that
Very well
fucking
done.
good.
Oh, I am saying, like, I mean, it was just absolutely fantastic. I love, like, I've listened to this album on repeat for a reason. It was so, so, so good.
Which is now you
Um,
understand the reason we wanted you to listen to this so fucking badly.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no shit. Um, I want to say, what was I want to say my favorite song on the entire album was probably Scare Tale.
It might have
It was
been mine as
probably
well, but I
Scare
couldn't
Tale.
tell you.
No,
Yeah.
I remember which one you said was your favorite.
Oh, which one was it?
Pincushion. It was actually the same as mine. It was a Song of Myself.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
that I do enjoy that one a lot, and I love the spoken voice at the
I was about to
end
say because it had
of that
multiple stories
song.
in it.
yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it was an entire album within that song almost is what it
Yeah.
Oh,
felt like to me. Definitely a very,
Um,
very well done song. Very well done album. But like, I don't know what it was about Scaretale. It just, oh my god.
so
I've
Scaretale
gone back, just
especially.
repeated that one too. Yeah.
Scaretale especially, but honestly the whole album, but Scaretale is most notable. Album was heavily influenced by Danny Elfman.
That would probably be why.
Because once he told me that, I'm like,
That
oh,
would
it makes
probably
sense.
be why.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
because
no,
Scaretale
I
sounds
love
like
Danny
quintessential
Elfman.
Danny Elfman, so.
Yeah. I love Danny Elfman albums. Definitely. So yes, no, this album rightfully needed to be listened to by me, and I'm so pleased I did listen to it.
We
Oh my
knew
God.
it was gonna be right up your alley.
Yeah, what'd you think of the
Holy
random
crap.
jazz song in the middle of it?
I loved that.
That was so
Oh my
cool.
God. It was like 1920s lounge jazz.
Yeah.
It was
You-
fantastic.
You should have seen because I
I-
remember this now so specifically. You should have seen my face because I told Doppler whenever it happened. You should have seen my face. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I very first heard that song, I was like, wait, this is like, I had to go back and look, like, I didn't change albums on here.
Yeah, no, I was actually so appreciative of that song when I first, like, so I was like super confused when it first popped on. I'm like, we still on the same album? What is this?
Exactly.
And then it just kept going and going and going. And then as I've repeated this album multiple times, that particular piece stands out a lot to me as well as Scaretale. Like, I think that's my second favorite song on this album, to be honest, because it's like it's got that like smooth jazz lounge music from like
And those
the
were the exact words that I
1920s.
used. I used those
Yeah.
exact
You
words
know,
whenever I was doing
Yeah.
my review on it.
You know, I mean, it's like you need like a cigarette and a glass of brandy, and you need
Cigarette,
to be
my-
wearing a freaking tailcoat and like a white suit. You need to be sitting down at a bar. Someone's talking poetry. You're snapping
Shit, I need
to
a
applause.
fucking pipe on that.
Like,
Come on.
I'm saying, but like, I mean, it was. Oh my God, it was a very well needed song on this album. It just helped further this album, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed this album. Thank you both for pushing it on to me. Yeah, no, by far, I want to say this is one of my all-time favorite albums. Not just of Nightwish.
It is completely safe to say that because it's one of my favorite albums. At the, like after I heard it, I'm like, well, I had to take a break for a moment because I even told Doppler this. It took me a while to be able to soak it in and understand and comprehend what I had just heard.
Yeah, it's always been my favorite Nightwish album, and it's easily top 3 favorite albums all time of any group I listen to for me.
Oh, you know, I would argue that it's probably my second favorite album of all time. Not just of Nightwish, but in general.
I couldn't give a ranking on my favorite album of all time. Although, shit, should we do an episode on that?
I think that would be a nice idea. We give our like top 5 albums.
It would be very different.
We'd be
we might have
extremely
one or two.
different.
We might have
Well,
one or two similar
see,
between us, but
well, I mean, at that point, wouldn't it probably be a good idea to go ahead and do a video on that sort of thing? Because at that point, seeing as we all typically agree when we listen to these things.
I don't remember, Doppler, have we done a video on that kind of thing, or
our favorite albums? No. We did our favorite vocalist.
we did? Okay,
But not just vocally, but also as
performers,
musicians, not performers. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because that one's gonna. This is going to be for me just as challenging as the vocalists.
The vocalist version.
It might be even harder.
Oh, it's going to be harder because it's like I've listened to so much. Aside from me being primarily black metal and some new metal and whatever, like and just classical in general, like this is gonna be extremely difficult for me just because I'm so picky with my groups that the groups I picked, to me, they just have outstanding albums, and I'm like, motherfucker, I gotta pick like 5.
See, for me, 3 of them are easy. Like 3 popped in my head right off the bat. Then after that, the other 2 though would take some time for me to figure out.
I can't
There'd
even.
be a lot battling for that.
That's why I think it
That-
needs to be the top 5, because we could all sit here and go top 3 right now and be perfectly fine and done.
I can't
and that's
actually.
just a quick video,
I can't.
you
Not
know.
off the top of my head.
But
That's
like,
gonna
I
be
mean,
extremely
top
difficult
5
for
would
me.
probably be the better way to go, and then we can kind
It
of go a
would
little
be.
bit in depth. Kind of go a little bit into depth as to why.
I mean, we
for
can go
us
into
and
depth
our
as
own
to why.
opinions.
Oh my god, number 1. Oh god, I'm gonna have a nightmare of a time trying to figure that out. Like,
Well, I mean, it's a good thing we have other things planned.
I know, because at this point
For the time being.
I'm going to spend probably about a week or 3 days at least going back and forth, going yes, no, I'm gonna have that moment of, in the show Friends, of whenever they ask, I think it was Joey, Joey, which one do you like more, food or sex?
What about you, Joe? What would you give up, sex or food?
I don't know. It's too hard.
No, you gotta pick one.
Food. No, sex. Food. Sex. Food. I don't know. Oh God, I want both. I want girls on bread.
I'm gonna have that kind of moment in deciding the top one, like the top, like, oh, it's gonna be a nightmare, but I'll do it.
Yeah, I think it's well worth.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
no, to give my actual rating on the album, I would go a 9.9.
He means 9.75.
I have to give it such a high rating. I have not been this in awe over an album in quite some time. And granted, I know this album came out years and years ago. However, this one was just so
question
loud
for
to
you.
me, and I loved it.
So to go more in
Q&A
depth,
X, yeah,
Yeah.
Q&A time.
Q&A time. I have like maybe a couple questions to follow up on this. So,
Go for it.
as many people that watch us know, even Doppler and I, we have never given an album a 10. We just, for one reason or another, never been an album. It would. I'm not even sure, to be honest, that it's possible. However, for
You're talking
you,
perfection.
yeah, you're talking perfection. But what, Frosty, for you, prevents this album from being 10? Where is that last quarter? Because you've given it such a high rating and you have such a strong liking to it, like Doppler and I completely understand, but where for you does that other quarter lie?
It's an easy answer for me.
Okay, we'll get to you in a moment.
I would argue it's probably less to do with the music behind it and more to do with just me
Okay, yeah.
than anything else.
I mean, it's the kind of same with us, is like we have our own personal biases, because like whenever we did Cradle, like it was just, I gave it such a high rating, but yet my own personal views of what I would particularly maybe like to heard, or like something that could maybe have been done differently, but it's like that's neither here nor there. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like I said, for me, it's the album is more like a musical than anything else, and I loved musicals. I mean, I'm a big nerd. I love musicals. I love metal. I love a lot of different types of music. However,
and yet this album managed to encompass most of it all, which is probably one of the more impressive
really
things.
Did. Yeah, I mean, it encompassed the nerd in me, it encompassed the music in me, it encompassed the freaking show tunes, like it encompassed the metal. It did a lot of that, and it was absolutely. I mean, it even touched the dark side of me, and I enjoyed every bit of it. It was just, I think there was just like something there that was telling me it can't be the all-time.
Yeah, and that's understandable. No problem. There's nothing against that.
But yeah, I mean,
Doppler.
I don't necessarily think it's anything against the album. I
I
think it
didn't
has
think it would
mostly
be.
everything to do with me.
Yeah. Doppler, what for you prevented this from being 10? Or
So for
perfect?
me, honestly, it's simple and it sounds kind of weird, but no matter how great something is, there can always be something better.
Yes, and so we'll get to this actually next because there's a little interesting thing I want to do.
Yeah. One thing I will say about this album as a whole, though, to me, it's not only is it Nightwish's favorite album for me, but for me, it also is a whole, is an album, is really to me helps show or prove why I personally believe Tomas is a musical genius. Like, to me, he's the greatest composer of our time.
I would definitely have to say he's, if not the, he's one of.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he, I don't know, and this album shows, I mean, he has songs that you could argue, like individual songs on other albums that you could maybe argue show it more, but as a whole, I feel like this album really brings it out.
Oh, so Frosty would be fascinated to know this, but I think I want to say it's Tomas that actually, and Doppler told me about this, and I'm like, really? And I looked into it, I was blown away. Tomas has a side group that is black metal.
Yes.
Huh.
And
Yeah, he has two. One's black metal, and then the other one's like a folky rock
yeah.
group.
But I checked out the black metal. Whoa. Just
Very old school sound.
Whoa. And I fell in love.
Oh, it's Darkwood's My Betrothed. That's the black metal.
Yeah,
band.
there we go.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have anything else. I mean, if you guys got any other questions for me about it, other than that,
I don't. Maybe Doppler might.
Not really. I mean, he said pretty much everything. I mean, the whole album really has, this theme. I will mention one thing, which I know I've mentioned it to Pincushion. I don't know if I mentioned it to Frosty before, but this album does have a full-length feature film.
Yes.
That goes with it.
Ooh.
Well, you did tell him that whenever we told him about Imaginaerum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a full-length feature film.
I must have forgotten because I'm gonna need to go and watch this now.
Yeah, the movie's the same name, Imaginaerum, and everybody from Nightwish is in it, or at least that was in Nightwish back then. They're all in the film. It was written by Tomas, and of course it features all the music from the album too, and it's a fantasy type film. Yeah, it's from the same name.
So is it a film that's based off of the album itself, and it's just, or is it like just like a fantasy film, and they put Nightwish's album a part of it?
No, it's Nightwish's film. Like I said, Tomas wrote it. He wrote the film. The music's all tied to it. I wouldn't say the movie like perfectly follows like the stuff that's the song's talking about, but it's all tied to it. The themes are very similar. The settings, fit the music. And it, like I said, it's very fantasy oriented. I think it's like an hour and 20 something minutes long.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna need to go check this out.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
a decent little movie. I mean, it's not like a major blockbuster or nothing, but it's a decent little movie, and it goes, it fits well with the album.
So I'm gonna say this to accompany this. I'm gonna quote Deadpool on this. Frosty, get your special sock ready, nerd. It's gonna get good.
I'll make sure to have my unicorn with me too.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, I tried. I couldn't do it. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and maybe you can leave your own notes on what you guys thought of Imaginaerum or Nightwish's Imaginaerum, or if this video has given you some ideas of what you like and you've never heard Imaginarium, now you can experience it for yourself. And let us know what you guys think. But until next time, guys, as always, keep rolling heavy.